Hardcore Henry. When they said this movie was going to be a roller coaster ride, I didn't think they actually meant we probably need to take Dramamine. Now, one really cool thing I want to bring up to you guys, I guess I had tickets for the ultimate fan experience. I didn't really know there was a difference between the showings because it's not really advertised. It was pretty cool. I got this shirt. I don't know if you guys can see it. So they give you a free Hardcore Henry shirt. My wife got a hat. So they give you a shirt or a hat. You get to choose. And then they gave us a comic book. And that is the first time I've ever had that happen in the movie. So I thought that was really cool. I would recommend, if you guys have the option to see the ultimate fan experience, definitely do it because you get some free stuff, which free stuff is always good stuff. This movie is directed by some guy that I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. So here he is. This is really the first big budget movie that he's done. And before I get into anything about the movie, hats off to the stunt team. They were pretty much the hardest working people throughout this entire movie. The main character in this movie, Henry, he's not actually played by one character. He's played by dozens of stuntmen. Most of this entire movie is filmed completely through a GoPro 3 camera that is actually mounted around right here. It sounds like it was right below the eyes of whichever stuntman it was that was playing Henry at the time. After you see some of the shots in this movie, that is freaking ridiculous that they were able to do that. So from the trailer alone, I could tell that this movie was basically going to be based on this guy who wakes up, has no recollection of what has happened to him. He has this crazy new technology that seems like it got added onto his body. His wife was one of the people working on him. You see some people break into the lab that are obviously after that type of technology. It looks like they capture his wife. He has to go get her back along with trying to stay alive. I will be honest with you guys, I thought this was going to be a total turd fest. I cannot stand shaky cam. It looked like a pretty cliche storyline, stuff that we've seen 1,000 times. And although I do like to play first-person shooters, I do not like to watch people play first-person shooters. So I had a pretty low expectation going into this movie. So I'll start with the things I like most. Like I said, the stunts in this movie, ridiculous. The cinematography, even though it's all shot through a GoPro, the director had his work cut out for him. Because in order to get some of the shots in this movie, they do some really long continuous shots, even during some of the action sequences. Which means that the timing and choreography in this movie had to literally be perfect or a scene would not work. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but I'll give an example of what I'm talking about. There's a bus scene where it kind of catches on fire. There's other people you can see in the background that are doing stunts as well. This guy might be on fire. This guy's doing this. This guy's doing this. This guy's doing this. Meanwhile, the guy who's playing Henry has to jump out the window. He may have to get fire off of him. And if you think about it, he's doing all these stunts, but he also has to make sure that he's looking at the right spot at the right time because he's got the GoPro mounted. He can't just go and do the stunts. He also has to go out, do the stunt. Oh yeah, I gotta look over here because this guy's on fire. I gotta look over there. This guy's gonna be running this way. I gotta make sure I look over there. Things like that they were able to accomplish in this movie blows my mind that they were able to do it. You will never be bored while watching this movie. From the time the movie starts to the time that the movie ends, I'm telling you, this movie is non-stop the entire time. With that being said, there are some flaws in this movie. Not all of the acting in this movie is that great. And Henry literally has zero dialogue. Once you hear it's because they had to use dozens of stuntmen. It makes sense. They were able to just play it off by saying, oh yeah, he wasn't programmed for that yet. The story literally feels like they just kind of winged something together. And even at the very end of this movie, it kind of makes you feel like 90% of what just happened was pointless. And of course, what you obviously can tell from the trailer already, it does have some pretty ridiculous shaky cam. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was literally going to be sick. So overall, I would give this movie a 7. And that's not saying it's a great movie. My score is more based on how I felt after I watched the movie. And I had a blast. This movie's not going to be for everyone. It's gonna be more based if you're a first-person shooter fan. If you're not a fan of blood and you're not a fan of violence, this movie is extremely graphic. This is not a light R-rated movie. This is one of those movies that does not cut away when something graphic happens. Please keep that in mind before you go and take your 10-year-old to this movie. If you guys saw the movie, let me know what you thought. Did you get sick from it? Are you a first-person shooter fan? Did you enjoy the movie? Or did you hate everything about it? Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you do, make sure you like, subscribe, and please share the video with your friends. Thanks, guys.